Advanced Studio Classroom is on the air. Disney Adventures for your golden years. Hello and welcome to Advanced Studio Classroom. I am your host, Joe, and we are on the third day of our adventure article talking all about Disney. And earlier I opened this with Disney Adventures for your golden years, and one of my panelists, Hazel, I think you kind of raised an eyebrow at that.
Well, golden years to me seems maybe retirement age or silver seniors or something. Your hair turns silver or I don't know. I think at 50, many people are still working, not retired yet. So it's okay. You can refer to it any way you want because when you look ahead, you're thinking, that's so old.
Right.
But when you're 60 or 70 or 80 or 90 and you look back, you'll think, oh, I was so young back then. Those years weren't as golden as I am now, right?
Right. It's so true. I used to look at, 30 or 40 as being, old when I was a kid.
Basically dead,
Right. And speaking of... And we also have joining us again for the third day. He hasn't been to any Disney theme parks, but I think we've well convinced him. David.
Hello, Joe. It's so good to be here. And I'm over 30 now, so, I'm still alive.
You're still alive.
Your pre-golden years.
Your pre-golden.
Pre-golden years. Maybe my copper years.
Copper years.
Tungsten.
Maybe.
It is really funny. Actually, just as a small side note, I was looking up the origin of the phrase golden years, and it's been very difficult, actually, to trace the exact way it got started, because there was this idea initially that it came from the fact that, people would have sort of gold, and that was a sign of retirement, right? Like Hazel was mentioning. So it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of question marks about how we started viewing those years as your golden years, but that's what we kind of refer to it as.
True. And you might also hear that golden years of a certain company or a certain time of a century where things were very prosperous and things were doing
that's
quite
the other
well.
way.
Yeah, sometimes we'll use the phrase golden age. That's a company especially.
Might even be better, golden years, golden age of something.
Right, and that's the thing, because I have heard golden years and golden age kind of referred to as a past time when things were really, really prosperous.
Yeah. And just as a brief side note, there's a very popular American TV show called Golden Girls.
Oh, the Golden Girls.
It was on TV for quite some time, and it's great. You can maybe practice your English and watch it.
And it's about some senior citizens that had a house together, and that was their golden years. They were the Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls. Yeah. Oh, that's
It's very
right.
sweet, actually. It's a very sweet show.
Oh, well, as we're talking about Disney adventures that are for people more advanced in years, actually, as you listen to it, you might think to yourself, oh, this actually sounds like a lot of fun. And the truth is that when it comes to Disney experiences, they tend not to just build something that's for one specific category of person. They try to sort of, check all the boxes or get it to where pretty much anybody can enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes them so relatable to people, and that's what also gives them the ability to build these parks all over the world.
Right. You even see that actually with sort of Disney media where, a kid's movie will have maybe some jokes or some comments or something that even parents or adults can enjoy.
Right, and maybe the kids don't understand it at all, but the parents watching it with the children kind of laugh, and they laugh even harder because they know that they get it, and a lot of people probably don't.
Yeah. It's so funny. Well, today what we're going to be looking at are 3 different Disney kind of services. So we've moved away from theme park specific services, and now we're going into sort of more travel and even a little bit of Disney real estate. Ooh. And so we're going to check out the first Disney offering with Adventures by Disney.
Your 50s. Adventures by Disney. At this point in life, there may be 2 or even 3 generations ready to explore together. Adventures by Disney offers fun, guided family vacations to various domestic and international destinations. Even with less in the way of Mickey and the gang, Adventures by Disney strives to tell a story as it unveils the wonders of Asia, Africa, Australia, Central and South America, Europe, and North America. Trips include a behind-the-scenes peek at the Walt Disney Studios and Walt Disney Imagineering, a family-friendly river cruise with Amma Waterways, a magical Disney cruise, and more.
So we have Adventures by Disney, and this is recommended for people in their 50s. And again, I think anybody can enjoy these, but we have something where people who are kind of older, they're traveling with maybe multiple generations, and they're looking to explore.
Yeah. At this point, they're kind of like, actually, I think it's nice. They might even have 2 or 3 generations together that are ready to explore. So maybe grandparents and their kids and then their grandchildren, right? So basically, Adventures by Disney offers kind of these fun guided vacations, kind of taking you on an adventure together.
And so this, again, from an American perspective, it's both domestic and international.
So domestic would be something within the United States because this article was written by someone there. And international, any place overseas or any other country. And I think some people are big on Disney. They want to center their vacations on Disney because they know they're usually family friendly and things go smoothly when you get there.
Right.
So,
there's something about like a guarantee of quality.
Right.
If you're doing something with Disney, maybe it's a little more expensive, but you know for a fact it's probably going to be good.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of one of the things that has made them able to be so international. People trust the brand, right? But this particular kind of Disney thing, it will have less in the way of Mickey and the gang, it says, right? So you won't
his
get
friends.
Yeah, Mickey and his friends, right? Mickey and the gang, Mickey and his friends. So this is not really like a character experiences, get autographs kind of thing. It's more so just a guided experience for you to engage your imagination like through Disney.
Right. Because here, it's not about rides. It's more about a story they're telling.
yeah, it unveils the wonders of different locations. Asia, Africa, Australia, Central and South America, Europe and North America. That's a lot of places to
Yeah, it
explore.
really is.
They offer, because I was kind of curious about what these sorts of packages look like. So they have 37 different trip options
Wow.
across 6 continents.
That's really impressive.
And then you travel with others that are on the same experience, I guess.
Right. So they have a kind of a travel group that's
Okay.
together. Although I imagine if you're traveling with enough people on your own, you could literally
Sure.
Just have your own group.
just have your own group.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of an interesting thing. And again, it's less about, like David mentioned, the Disney characters and more about Disney as a brand.
Yeah.
So a little bit different. And apparently, some of these trips can include a behind-the-scenes peek.
That's right. So because you've signed up for this cruise and you're paying for it, they might let you go behind the scenes, see how things actually work. Maybe you can see a recording of a show or how something is put together that most of the audience would not be able to see. So that's what behind the scenes means.
Right.
You don't see you see more than the typical audience or the viewer would see.
Right. You kind of get to be a part of that, see the creative process as it unfolds.
Yeah, and I think it's a really exciting thing, And there's also it looks like they've got this they've got the Imagineering studio that you can go to. They've got a family-friendly river cruise with the Amma Waterways, a magical Disney cruise, and more. It's like they have a lot of different things. And I was looking a little bit at one of the trips too. I was looking at the Japan trip because I was already looking at the.
Did you book us a
Disney
trip
Sea.
to Japan?
Yeah, we're leaving in about 10 minutes. So you guys ready? Yeah. No, but it was really cool. It's like there was one thing I noticed was that the package with these trips tends to involve a lot of like cultural experiences, a lot of history stuff, but like in a fun, interactive way. So it really is a great family trip. And now they are not cheap.
Oh, I'm sure.
I looked at some of they are not cheap. But I really think that if you have that money to spend for that, it would be worth it.
Oh, yeah. And so here, you just have so many different things. And we get that idea, right, as David was mentioning about history, where they're not just taking you to, like, see a site. They want to tell you a story. They want to share the story of this culture, of this people group. And so I think that there's a lot to be had there. What kind of pricing are we talking about? Do you have a general figure?
Yeah, I saw one that was about 10,000 US dollars.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I didn't stutter. 10,000 US dollars. Now, it's like 11 days. It's an 11-day trip. The meals are included, like a certain number of meals are included, accommodations, right? So it'll be 10,000 US dollars, but there's a lot of stuff included with it.
Right. Is that like a package for a group of people?
That's what I was trying to figure out. If it is a package, it's probably not for more than 3 or 4 people, but it might be per person.
Oh.
I'm not entirely sure. I couldn't see like all of the details because I was reading kind of what you would be doing on it, but I kind of just saw that number and was like,
oh okay.
I was kind of like regardless of whether it's per person or but if it is for like a group of 2 or something, 10,000 per 2 people, then it'd be more manageable. But I mean, it's expensive, but it includes a lot of stuff. And it gives you this immersive, it's almost like with the guided tours, it's like there's like a narrative that's following you the whole time. So it's almost like having this 3D experience between reality and your imagination. You've got the guided tour guide who's leading you through not just the place, but the history of the place. You're telling you, oh, this thing happened over there, this thing happened over there. Put on this costume, you'll feel like you're there. It's a really cool idea that you're paying
So
for.
are they hiring?
Are they hiring? Right?
We can look that up.
Oh, my. All right. Well, we talked about an adventure you can have on your 50s, and now we're going to look at something you can do in your 60s with the Disney Cruise Line.
Your 60s. Disney Cruise Line. Disney Cruise Line is a great choice for grandparents and grandchildren to enjoy together. But make no mistake, these aren't mundane cruises with little to do. The Disney Dream, Disney Fantasy, Disney Magic, and Disney Wonder all have an abundance of attractions on board. All of the elements that make Disney so irresistible on land are offered here, including kinetic water slides, lavish stage shows, delicious dining, and comfortable accommodations. It's a great experience for families with kids, as well as couples without children. Older generations traveling alone will particularly appreciate the fineries of the concierge staterooms and suites, as well as the exquisite adults-only Remy and Palo restaurants.
So, Disney Cruise. Now, out of the experiences we're talking about today, the only one I've actually done is Disney Cruise. And by far, it is like just hands down, absolutely one of the best experiences I think I've ever had was being able to go on this cruise. Like, I cannot say good enough things about this. And so Disney Cruise Line, it's apparently, it's a great choice for grandparents, grandchildren to enjoy together. But this isn't just like a regular old cruise, Hazel.
Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
It's not mundane. It's not a mundane cruise where day after day you just see a lot of water and there's nothing to do. You can eat well, but it's like, now what? So if something's mundane, it might be a little bit boring or a lot of the same. But this one is not. These cruises are not. You've got lots to do, it sounds like.
Right. And so, the Disney cruise, like a regular cruise, you have a lot of food, maybe you have a couple shows, but this is sort of all that and more. And so they have all these different ships. So they have the Disney Dream, which is the one I went on. Very nice. Highly recommended.
Cool.
Disney Fantasy, Disney Magic, Disney Wonder. And they have all these attractions on board. So there's actually other things to do.
Yeah, I think there's like I've heard about these things. They'll have like shows and activities and stuff. Well, in this one, apparently, not only are there lots of different attractions and shows and stuff, but all the elements that make Disney so irresistible, like so much fun on land, are also offered here, like water slides, lavish stage shows, which just means like lots of excitement and lights and sounds and special effects. And I did look up kinetic water slides.
I was trying to find it. What is this about?
So all I can tell is that, when they have these special water slides that maybe it'll be a water slide that makes you go on like a loop or something like that. You'll do like a big, go all the way up and around, right? It's like they are water slides that use the kinetic energy to keep you from flying out of the tube or something. So I think that's kind of what they mean. It's just they're more elaborate, more exciting water slides that are designed to make you feel like really excited.
I remember getting to ride the water slide they had on the Disney Dream, and that water slide, it's a clear tube, and it goes all the way around the ship and over the water a little bit.
Wow.
And so you can actually see like down into the ocean as you're on the water slide.
That's so cool.
It's just like, it's an incredible experience. And when it says lavish stage shows, I mean, if you can think of like Broadway quality shows, that's basically what you're getting.
Right, probably. Because I know that at the parks I've been to, if you go to a show, it's really professional, done very well. Top notch, the best actors and actresses and music, things like that.
I bet.
Yeah, I remember, a little feather in my cap. So I went with my wife's family. So they basically planned this as a big family reunion trip. So all the brothers, the sisters, the in-laws, everyone's going together. And we actually had someone who was hard of hearing in our group. And because of that, they actually gave her 2 personal sign language interpreters and then put our entire family in the front row for the show so that they could have the stage and the sign language interpreters right next to each other.
Wow.
So it was like really convenient for her. Like, I don't know, just that level of like production
that's
and
really,
like
that's a really
consideration.
kind thing to do.
And also it meant that all like 10 of us got to be like
Hey-o.
right up front.
Yeah.
And so you get the sense that, this isn't just something that's good for, just families. It's kind of a wider audience as well.
Right. And it even says that older generations traveling alone. So it's good for elderly people or people in their 60s or silver seniors,
Seniors.
golden, whatever you want to call people. It's good for them too. And some people don't have families, or maybe they want to get away from their family. They can travel alone. And especially it sounds like it's geared for people that like the fineries of different things. They like the good life. It might be expensive, but they like the staterooms that are big. I always have trouble saying that
Concierge.
word.
Right?
Concierge, yeah. The concierge staterooms. I have trouble saying it and paying for it. But it sounds great. These big suites and exquisite restaurants.
Right. So
the Remy and the Palo restaurants. So
Right.
exquisite, adults only, so no kids running around, and probably decorated in a very rich style.
Yeah.
I remember on our cruise, there were at least 3 people getting married. Like, so they were like brides were coming down like the gangway and all of this.
Stand in line, get married.
Right.
All the grooms standing in line to get their
Having
bride.
Mickey Mouse at your wedding.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Mickey Mouse at my wedding.
Mickey Mouse at your wedding.
That's a little bit too much.
Now, this kind of thing, much like the Adventures by Disney, it also will cost you what we call a pretty penny. So kind of expensive.
Indeed. Yeah.
An arm and a leg.
An arm and a leg, even.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't run in the $10,000 range necessarily, but it will be about $350 per person per day.
Wow, that's intense because these cruises can go on for quite some time.
Right. So, the one that I remember going on, it was a 3-day. And so these cruises, actually, they have offerings like in Asia, in Europe, and the United States. The one I went on, we flew to Florida. And so you have that, because, the $350 per person doesn't even factor in just getting to the boat.
Right.
Right, so that's a whole other set of costs. But yeah, so $350 per day, and that one was a 3-day, but they also have like a 5-day and a 7-day, and I think even a 10. And it's amazing. Actually, my favorite part was the captain of the boat gave the stats, like the statistics of like how many meals, like how many pounds of food were consumed in 3 days. How many ice cream cones? Like, they track all these numbers. And it was hilarious because you're on the ship 3 days, and there are about 3,500 passengers total. you feel like there's not that many people though, because the ship is just huge.
Yeah.
Like actually, in this article, the image above with the couple, that's the ship behind them, the Disney Dream.
Wow. Oh, okay. Wow.
And it was crazy because in 3 days, with about 3,500 people, there were like 7,000 ice cream cones consumed. They're like just having those kinds of numbers is hilarious.
Wow.
Now, there's one other feature, one other offering that Disney has, and it's something that you might not necessarily think of, and it's timeshares or real estate. So we're going to take a look at that last offering now.
Your 70s and beyond. Disney Vacation Club. Last but not least, the Disney Vacation Club gives mature fans the opportunity to experience loads of Disney properties domestically and abroad. With the Vacation Timeshare program, travelers can conveniently stay at the Disneyland and Walt Disney World resorts with added amenities, as well as a number of standalone hotels. Participants even have access to exclusive events and trips and can redeem points on river and ocean cruises and at properties like Aulani.
So Disney Vacation Club, this is probably the most different out of the Disney offerings.
Yeah, this one is sort of like, it's not a place or in a particular event. It's actually just a way that for you to experience all the other events, both you and people close to you.
Right. And so the Disney Vacation Club, actually, it's a little bit closer to almost like real estate.
It sounds like it. So what it is you have the opportunity to do a timeshare program. So they have locations at, I guess, the different theme parks or nearby those theme parks. And you can actually pay a certain amount, and then every year or every so often you can stay at one of their hotels, choose a place and stay and enjoy what they have to offer.
Oh, yeah. It's basically like, it's just like Hazel said, it's kind of like you are purchasing real estate, like kind of paying into the property of the park or the resort itself. And then you're able to get some like special pricing. You kind of get it in the form of points.
Right.
And then you can cash in those points at different parks in order to get discounts or special pricing or something like that.
Right. So basically, when you're getting a timeshare, it's literally you're sharing time of this space with a group of people. So maybe one of you, one family can't afford a little nice mansion or something like that, but different families sort of pull cash together, and then this family goes in March and that family goes in April, and they have these designated times. And so another way of thinking of this is considered just like use rights, like you buy the right to use this property, or it's kind of what they call vacation ownership. And so actually when you're in some of these parks, you'll see people sort of offering deals to get you to purchase this timeshare program. And so it allows travelers to kind of stay pretty conveniently at the resorts.
Yeah, I have some relatives with a timeshare in Tennessee.
Oh.
So you have to, I think that's just one area, so they have to make sure they enjoy going there, which they do. And then every summer they'll go for a week or 10 days or something. And for them it seems to work quite well. But you do need to research carefully.
Yes.
There's a lot of timeshare scams out there, so you need to find a company that you can trust. Probably Disney is very trustworthy. Generally speaking, people trust in the Disney brand. So that might be an option. If you know you love Disney and you want to visit all the theme parks, maybe this would be a good option to consider.
Right. And so something else, and you can actually like stay pretty much like right near the park. You're not staying at like a hotel 30 minutes or 40 minutes away. You're actually maybe just staying really close to the properties.
Yeah. And that would be really nice, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the convenience of that, and just, it's kind of, all of these is kind of more and more making you feel like you're a part of the Disney kingdom. Even with the adventures, you know what I mean? It's like you're there on the ground with the guide, and with these, it's like you have reached a point in your life where you are like, okay, I am now partially owning. I've like kind of bought into the Disney kingdom, so to speak. Right.
Yeah, you get that property. And so apparently, when you're getting involved in these timeshare programs, the Disney Vacation Club, you're not just getting a space to stay at, there are also some exclusive things you can enjoy.
Sure, it talks about redeeming points, and I think David mentioned that a little bit earlier. So you can go to get these points and trade them in for different things, cruises. Also, there's exclusive events. So events that if you're not one of these timeshare holders, you can't even get in.
Right.
It's exclusively for people that are owning part of the Disney.
The Disney Kingdom, as you call it.
Kingdom,
Oh,
yeah.
my. And I think actually maybe for some of our listeners here, the concept of timeshare might be kind of interesting because I'm not entirely certain if that's a very common concept in Asia.
Maybe not, but I know for a while when it first started, it was very popular. You'd hear a lot about it in the States. And again, some of it was kind of a scam thing. Maybe they would have a resort, you could get a timeshare, but nobody wanted to go there because it wasn't convenient. And then people would end up paying, and then they couldn't sell their timeshare. So again, you just need to research or find a company that you trust, a place that you really like to go and enjoy,
Right.
and it might be beneficial to invest.
There we go. Well, I feel like we've covered so many different kinds of topics in the past 3 days, and it's all been Disney related. And David, I need to ask, are you fully convinced that you want to go to a Disney theme park at this point?
I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Mickey Mouse there.
Oh,
Yeah, see
nice
that
Mickey
guy.
voice.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And so something that we definitely encourage you to do is, if you're planning a trip and doing one of these Disney theme parks or cruises, adventures, get online, do some research and see what works best for you. And actually, there are so many really good reviews. I remember when we were doing the Disney cruise, my father-in-law kept sending me YouTube videos of walkthroughs of the ship, shows showing the kinds of food served and all of this stuff. And so there's a lot out there to get to know what exactly you're buying. And this has been our adventure article. We've covered 3 days of Disney, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you go on a Disney trip, write to us at advanced@studioclassroom.com. And maybe if you go to Tokyo and you're at Disney Sea, you might bump into David, might bump into me, might bump into Hazel. Who knows?
You never
Who
know.
knows?
Be sure to say hello. And we always encourage you to tune in to Advanced Radio for all these different topics we have. We have a lot that we cover. And if you want to get a little review, look at Topic Talks.
Yeah.
Check those out. And I've been your host, Joe,
I'm David.
I'm Hazel.
saying goodbye.
See you later.
Goodbye, everybody.